In this video we're going to demonstrate using a general floor hoist to transfer from bed to wheelchair, and we've applied our ACIT principle. So we've assessed the task, we've communicated with all the people in the room about how it's going to happen, and we've checked all the equipment is compliant and safe to use before we commence starting with the task. I've got my colleagues here. We've got Lucy, we've got Nat, and we've got Alan, and they're going to demonstrate the task for us. Let's begin. So brakes are on the bed. First thing the girls are going to do is adjust the pillow into the position. Next, they're going to assist the person to raise his arms, and then they're going to assist the person to raise his leg. Once they've got all these positions correct, Lucy is going to place her hands on the hip and shoulder in a nice strong position. She's going to roll the person forward over to the side. Have a look at Nat's body position. So she's nice and close to the bed. She's in a slightly lunge position, slightly sunk over her hips to maintain nice balanced position. We come back over to Lucy. Lucy has grabbed the sling. She's draped the sling over the person, and now what she's doing is what we call the bounce tuck method. So she is bouncing the sling into the mattress, pushing down into the mattress, pushing all the material underneath the person. Now you can see she's doing her best to make sure that the plastic clip is underneath and not dragging on the person's skin. Okay, they're rolling the client back over, and then Nat is doing her best to unravel all the material that Lucy had pushed underneath.
Could you lift your leg up?
Once they've got the client centered the sling, they're now doing the leg straps. So you can see they're just positioning the straps in, sitting on the inner thigh of the person, making sure that the straps are as even as possible and that the material is not folded over and is sitting nice and flush against the client's skin. Once that's in position, they can move on to the next step. Now that the sling is in position, you can see that Nat has actually adjusted some of the bed mechanics, and that's for a couple of reasons. So she's raised the head of the bed up. She's also applied the knee break of the bed. The three reasons for doing that are: one, it's going to be easy for them to attach the straps of the sling to the hoist. Two, it's going to stop Alan from moving in his sling, which stops any shearing forces happening. And three, it's also for Alan's overall comfort. So Lucy's pushing in the hoist. You can see Nat has grabbed the frame so that it doesn't strike the client. She's asked the client to cross his arms so that they can position the frame over the top of him. So Lucy's just lowering the frame down, and now they're putting on the leg straps of the pivot frame sling.
Lifting the backrest up.
They moved up to the shoulder straps. Now you can see they're using the bed again to adjust so that they're not doing any strain putting on the shoulder straps. Once the straps are in position, Lucy's just coming in, checking, making sure all the straps are on 100% securely. Nat's going to grab the slide sheet, and what she's doing is she's positioning it underneath the client's legs, and as Lucy is lowering the bed, Nat is just going to raise up the client's legs, just to stop the client's heels from dragging on the bed as Lucy lowers the frame down. Okay. Now Lucy is going to raise the hoist up, and all she does is raise it up so that she's got enough clearance underneath the client's backside to come off the bed without the client dragging on the mattress as she comes off. Okay, now they're going to work together.
Go.
And they're going to maneuver the hoist off the bed. That can now lower the slide sheet, place it on the bed, and they're just working together as a team to maneuver the hoist into the position that they need. Nat's off to go get the wheelchair. Lucy is opening the legs of the hoist. Nat's got the wheelchair. She's splayed the legs of the wheelchair foot plates and positioning it underneath the client. Lucy's also using the powered pivot frame to put the client into the correct angle so that they don't have to do any heavy adjustments as they position Alan into the chair. So Nat's put the brakes on the wheelchair.
Coming down.
She's come around to the front, and you can see Nat is gently pushing from the front. And what that enables her to do is to get into a much stronger forward lunge position and push gently on Alan's knee area to get his hips sitting nice and flush in the chair. Once they've got that, Lucy lowered the frame down and they're now removing the straps off the frame. Once all the straps have been removed from the sling, Lucy is now maneuvering the hoist away from the client so that they have access to remove the sling. What they're doing now is Lucy is assisting Nat to raise the leg and put the foot plates back into position. So Nat's got her slide sheet, she's lifting the leg up, and Lucy is swiveling the foot plate back into position, and they're also removing the leg straps of the sling as well. Now that they have done both legs, they are moving up to the top to remove the sling from behind the client. So they're asking the client to lean forward, and they can simply remove the sling from behind the person. Now they're removing the brakes, and the transfer is complete.